Just, okay, write the subtopic, electrostatics 1. Electrostatics 1, eh? Electrostatics 1. I want to share the screen. Good. So write this topic. Eh? Electrostatics 1. So that's why I want us to start our revision or our lesson. Okay. So electrostatics 1, you have written that. So this is a topic you have already covered. So I expect everyone to understand it very, very well. So electrostatics 1 starts from the idea that the whole idea is coming from electrons. You know what electrons are. You're in Form 2. Everyone knows what electrons are. What is an electron? So from chemistry, we can borrow this from chemistry. That electrons, like top of an atom, each atom has got protons, neutrons, and electrons. So electrons have a capability of, an atom has a capability of either losing or gaining an electron. So if it gains an electron, it becomes positively charged. If it loses an electron, it becomes, if it gains an electron, it becomes negatively charged. If it loses an electron, it becomes positively charged. So you can see the way these sciences are connected to each other. So from there, from either losing or gaining of electrons, so now we bring that idea of electrostatics, because when an atom has lost electrons, it is either positive or negative. So consider whether it loses or gains. If it gains, it becomes negatively charged. If it loses, it becomes positively charged. So from that idea of electrons, you now have our topic called electrostatics 1. Electrostatics 1. Electrostatics 1. Good. Now, for our case here, we are going to start by defining or by interpreting what's the meaning of this. And it normally starts from a very simple experiment. And you can take a ruler, like I want to take a ruler here. So I was getting this ruler here. So when you rub it, read this ruler, when you rub it against your hair, I know almost everyone has got a lot of hair right now. I know you don't shave, I can see. Najua mwenye wangu mpaka turudi. Lakini mkikuja lazima unyoe. So, but you can use your hair right now. If you have a ruler and can you rub against your knee? Then you have some pieces of paper. You can see I'm making my papers, my pieces of paper here. I'm making mine. I hope you're also making yours. You rub against your hair. And I don't want everybody to share the screen. Let me just, there's somebody who's interfering with my screen. Get him right now. Kashika Sarai. Yeah. So you don't interfere with my screen, otherwise I'll punish you. You should not interfere with my screen. Eh? Yeah. So if I get you trying to interfere, although you can still. So I want you to do that experiment. Kata karatasi, rub it against your hair. Yeah. See whether it is collecting some pieces, attracting some pieces of paper. Everyone should do that experiment. Najua kila mtu akona karula hapo, ama hata biro, even a pen can do that. Ile ya big, yenye iko glass, usitumie ile hata ile plastic bado inaweza. Do that. I want to check. Nataka kushika huyu mtu anajaribu kuinterfere na screen. Because somebody who is interfering with the screen. Have we done that? Good. That's nice. So is it attracting? Is it attracting pieces of paper? Check whether it is doing that. This is a simple experiment that you can do at home. So everyone should participate. Kila mtu participate. I can see everyone is trying. So tell me whether it is attracting the pieces of paper that you have cut. Cut very small pieces. Kama ya attract ujue, ujue kuna kashida pahali. So what will happen if you look at mine is attracting papers, I think. Vile ifiki juu, I think I can. So you can see mine is attracting. Why? What is happening there? What is happening? So what? So if you interpret that, what are you doing when you rub that glass against your hair? That glass gains some electrons from. Okay, your hair is the one that is losing electrons, and now your ruler gains those electrons. It gains the electrons. So it becomes negatively charged. So because of that negative charges, when you put it close, when you bring it close to those pieces of paper, it is able to attract, because the papers have got positives and negatives. So because this glass is negatively charged, it is able to attract the positive electrons the positive charges, that are inside those papers. So you find that there will be that attraction. So that brings us to the law of charges, or law of electrostatics. It operates under one law, which says that law of electrostatics operates in this, under this law, which says that like charges, write that. So there is that law of electrostatics that says that law of charges. Law of charges says that like charges attract and like charges repel, like charges repel, and unlike charges attract. Good. These are law that operates in physics in so many areas. If you look at even in the real life situations, you cannot be attracted by a fellow man. Of course, you can be attracted to a girl, true or not true. But you cannot be attracted to a fellow man unless you have a psychological problem. Those people who have got psychological problems are the ones that are normally maybe attracted to other men. Those are the people with problems. Like you have a psychological disorder. If you have a psychological disorder, you can be attracted to maybe. That's an evil, whatever. But for a real man can be attracted to another, to a girl. It is normal. If you get yourself being attracted, don't get worried. It is just normal. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because even in physics, we say that like charges repel. Of course, and unlike charges attract. So if you come across an unlike charge and get attracted, you should not get worried. It's just normal. You just need to know how to control that. So it operates in magnetism. It operates in that will also operate in charges. Even in magnetism, if you bring a north and a north together, you expect them to repel. But when you bring a north and a south, you can see those are opposite sides of magnet. Automatically, they are going to attract. So charges operate under this law that says that like charges repel and unlike charges attract. So in this whole thing, this topic, we should bear that in mind, that when you find those like charges together, automatically they are going to do what? Repel, okay? And unlike charges, automatically they are going to attract. I normally see you when you have some events in the school. Naonanga wakati tumeita shule zingine. Mpaka unaomba kashati. Because you want to attract an unlike charge. Ile yenye umeweka kila ile yenye umeishi kuweka, you wear one shirt, the other one is always kept safe for that specific day. Because you want to attract an unlike charge. Anyway, that's normal. So what we say that is that unlike charges are supposed to repel. They need attract and then like charges. So this is a very simple law that will guide us all through the topic. It will guide us very well. So under this law, we are going to come up with types of charging. You need to charge a body. You need to know how to charge a body. How do you charge a body? Charging a body. There are 3 ways of charging a body. Let me just write it here. Charging a body. How do you charge a body? Charging a body. How do you charge a body? Method one of charging a body. How do you charge a body? Method one, charging by we charge a body by contact. Sorry, it's supposed to be contact. Charging by contact. 2, charging by separation. Charging by induction. And 3, charging by charging by charging by separation. Write those 3. Andika hizo 3. Kidogo tu. Charging by contact, charging by induction, charging by separation. You have seen the 3 methods. Kila mtu anaona? Those 3 methods are meant for charging a body. They're meant for charging a body. charging a body. A body is normally charged through those three methods. So I want us to look at those methods one by one. And then we are going to borrow those methods in other areas, like when you go to electroscope, we are going to use those three methods. Oh yeah, in electroscope, we normally use two out of the three. So make sure that you understand each method very, very well. Very, very well. So I want us to start with the first one, the first method. So easy to understand them, imagine they're so easy. So I want us to start with the first method, and you must understand them so that you can be able to answer application question, and then the questions that will be tested for application purposes. So number one, charging by andika number one, charging by contact. Ama separation. Let's you start with contact or separation? Contact. Charging by contact. Charging by contact. Uko hapo? Charging by contact. Andika hiyo. Then I'll do that in form of diagrams. I'll draw some diagrams here for you so that you can now understand how we charge a body by. What is contact in the first place? Contact. Contact. Yeah, contact. If two things are in contact, you know what I mean by saying that. Bringing something into contact. They're supposed to be, it's like that's supposed to, do I use touch? Or do I use that? So charging by contact. I will draw here two bodies that I want us to charge by contact. So charge this body. Have them here. So you can have a body here. I'll just have one body first. And the body is here.
Go to Sawa.
Right. The body is here.
Kwani ongeza hiyo tena? Hizi earphones hazifanyi vizuri. Moja pekee inafanya.
So the body, when it's like that, it has positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive.
Ndio nasema kitu nasikia.
So what we normally say is that that's the stand. When a body is not charged, it has both positives and negatives. That's an insulator. Insulator. That's an insulator. So when a body is not charged, it has equal positives and negatives. When you say that a body is not charged, what do we mean? We mean that the positives and negatives are equal in numbers. I want to bring a body close first. Before I bring it into contact, I want to bring it close. You can use a charged body. For example, I can use a positively charged body. I bring it to, remember my intention is bringing it into contact. That's my intention. Is it clear? Yeah, at the end of the day, I want to bring this body into contact. So when you bring it into contact like that, something will happen. Something will happen. If I bring a positively charged rod near that body, something is going to happen. And that's something I'm talking about. That thing I'm talking about is just here with us. I want to show you what will happen. So my body is still here, close. Sorry. I want to show you what will happen. If I bring this body close, my body is here, close, positively charged. So all the negatives will be attracted towards this side, and all the positives will be repelled. Can you see we are still operating under the same law of charges, which unlike charges attract, like charges repel. So all the negatives will be attracted on one end, right? Now, remember our intention is bringing them into contact. Now, bring them into contact. So when you bring it close, you bring a body close, so all the negatives will be attracted, and the repulsion here, positives repelled, and negative attracted. So good. Attracted like that. So bring the body into contact and see what will happen. Bring the body into contact. Here is the body. The body is there. That's the body. Now the body is into contact.
Dog.
So that body is into contact. Remember, it is highly positive. So what will happen? It will attract, it will neutralize. When you bring them into contact, the negatives will be neutralized. And remember, the negative will still remain repelled here. So all the negatives will be neutralized. Negatives will be negative charges. Negative charges will be neutralized. Roger. Negative charges here will be, what will happen, negative charges will be, you know, you have brought the two bodies into contact. So the negative charges will be neutralized. So when we neutralize the negative charges, what will happen? Negative charges here. So negative charges will be neutralized. Then you separate Finally, you're going to remove the negative. You're going to remove the rod. When you remove the rod, you remove that rod. I hope you're following, eh? Good. Finally, we are going to remove the rod. This is a topic that everyone should understand. Kila mtu anafaa aelewe vizuri sana. So when you remove the rod, the positive charges will redistribute across. You know, they still repel each other, so they will be redistributed and the body will be positively charged. The body will be positively charged. The body will be left positively charged. So the body will finally be left positively charged. So following that, can you be able to get a negatively charged body through contact? Following that. So if you want to get a negatively charged body, you use a negatively charged rod. Clinton, you have raised your hand.
Where have the negative charges gone?
Sorry?
Where have the negative, because you used the positive rod, by contact the positive charges were repelled. Now where have the negative charges gone? So
Negatives will be neutralized by the positive charges after bringing them into contact with the rod. You can see there's a point where you're bringing the body into contact. Have you seen that point?
Yes.
Everybody is here. Was here? Okay, that's okay. Anybody else with a question there before we proceed? Anyone else with a question? So we can somebody quickly explain to us how we can acquire a negatively charged body through contact? Do you have anybody who can do that? Anyone? Iko? Meogopa? I can explain quickly so that because we have a long way to go and our time is running, so we can, if there's no one, I can quickly explain that to you. And this one I will not take a lot of time. So I want to clear this and draw another one. So I want to acquire a negatively charged rod. So I'll draw the lily. I'll start by drawing everything. Kwanza nitachora zote because I know everyone is now understanding. In the first body there, bringing close, we show what will happen. Here another one. Undo. Is that one? Is that one? Is that one? And finally, what will happen? So, I want to do it again. Remember what you said, this is a neutral body. So being neutral means it has positive, negatives, positive, negative. So many positives, negatives, positives, like that. When it is neutral, it has both positives and negatives in equal numbers. I bring close a negatively charged rod. Highly negative. Negatively charged rod means it has got so many negative charges. So what will happen? Still, when I'm having it here, all the positives will be, because this one is highly negative, it will attract the opposite charges, which are positives. Right? And negatives is back to mwisho. Itakuwa repelled. It will repel all the negatives. Are we together? Then bring it into contact at this particular step. And just to bring it into contact. When you bring it into contact, it will neutralize all those positives. So positives will be neutralized and the negatives will still be repelled at this far end. Then you remove the rod and the negatives will distribute across the whole body. And the body will finally be negatively charged. The body will be left negatively charged. Really? Meshika? Good. Huh? Moses, you're okay? Good. Ryan Kim, uko sawa? Victor. Good. David Muriuki, uko sawa? Nice. So you can go to method 2, eh? Turn to method 2 quickly. Method 2, I want us to charge a body through induction. Ernest, you are raising up your hand. Ernest?
Question. My question is, what happens if in the exam, the number of charges in the rod, let's say if the rod is positively charged, it has, the number of charges on the rod are 6, and then the same number of negative charges that is in the ball is also 6. Does it mean that if you use contact method, in that way, the charges in the rod will be neutralized?
Oh, the rod will not be neutralized because, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that when only one positive can neutralize one negative. One negative can neutralize one negative, one positive. One positive can neutralize one negative. So what we normally do, we use, when I talk about a positively charged or a negatively charged rod, it is highly positive. It has got multi positive, and so many positive charges. So even that rod cannot have an effect on the body. It cannot have an effect on the rod. It cannot neutralize the rod because the rod is assumed to have so many positives or so many negatives. So the few positives that are there in the body that you're trying to charge cannot actually affect the what? It cannot affect the rod by neutralizing it. It cannot manage to neutralize that rod. Understood?
Yes.
Good. Let's quickly go to method 2. Then method 2. Method 2 is charging by induction. Charging by induction. So I'll show you one method for getting a negative or a positive. Because I know you are sharp, you can understand that quickly. So charging by induction. Charging by induction. Charging by induction. I want to clear the whole of this. Charging by induction. Charging. Charging by induction. Charging by induction. So I'm writing that for you. Charging. That's the second method. In fact, you're supposed to call it method 2. Just call it charging by induction. Charging by induction. I want somebody to check for me the meaning of the word induction. I'm to induce. What is the meaning of inducing? Somebody tell us. To induce. Induce ni kufanya nini? Induce. Induction. Induce. From the dictionary. One person. They can see who. Is it Ernest? Ernest, tell us what is to induce.
Try saying to get started.
Ernest?
Yes.
What's the meaning of induction?
Okay, the word induce.
Uh-huh.
It means
It means
to succeed in persuading or leading someone to do something.
very good. To persuade somebody to do something. Serious? Persuading.
Yes.
Ni kama kubembeleza mtu afanye kitu, eh?
Yes.
Ni kweli? Like the way you
Yes.
can maybe you can use you can go to a small kid kaonyeshe, sijui watoto wanapenda nini sana. Watoto wadogo wanapenda nini kama sweet, they like sweet things. So unaweza onyesha katoto sweet ikakufuate, si ndio? Ukaonyesha ukaambia nitakupatia hii sweet ukakufuate. Si ni kweli? Or anything else, if you want to persuade your friend to take you somewhere. Basit. Eh? So how can you persuade a small kid to follow you? Eh? You can show that kid something like a sweet or anything sweet. Eh? Yeah. And that kid is going to follow you. If I want to persuade you to do something, I can show you wewe sijui naweza kuonyesha nini unifuate. Nikikuonyesha pesa utanifuata, si ndio? Kwambia wewe ukinifuata unifikishe Nairobi nitakupatia 5,000. Some of you you come on foot. Nikwambia nitakupatia 20k ukikuja Nairobi. You'll do that. So inducing is like persuading somebody to do something. So how can we induce a body until we charge it? Higher. So I want us to do this. I want to explain that process. It is highly examinable, so be very keen on it. We'll start by having a normal body here. A normal body here. Just a normal one. We said a body that is not charged, we won't charge a body, so we must start with an uncharged body. The body must be uncharged so that we cannot charge it, right? We charge it from, we use a body that is uncharged. Here it is, uncharged body, and it has positives and negatives. Here it is. It has positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Evil. So that is my body that is not charged. I'll use the normal process. I'll bring a positively charged here, body. If I bring a positively charged body close to the body without touching the body. Close without touching the body. It is positively charged. So I can have a stand here. That's an insulator there. So automatically everybody knows what you expect. When you bring a positively charged body close, what will happen to this body? What is the first step, or what are you expected to see? What do you expect to see from this? Our very first step after bringing a positively charged body to a neutral body, what do you expect to see? Nimeona Miraya nama ni nani ameinua mkono? Is it Ryan? Mani? Victor? Huyo ni Victor ama ni huyu kijana anajiita Airtel jana Abdi Fatah. Good. I just tuchukue Abdi Fatah this time around Abdi Fatah. Tell us what will happen. Ala, huyo amekwama. Kimutai? Kimutai? Wacha tuchukue basi David. What will happen?
The rod will attract the negative charges towards the surface closer to the rod and repel the positive charges to the surface of the body very far from the rod.
That's good. That is very, very good. Automatically, negatives will be attracted towards the side of the rod, and the positives will be repelled away from the rod. That's very nice. That's very nice. So we quickly draw that. Let's just draw here. Kuonyeshana what will happen. Kila mtu achore bwana. Unangoja nikuchore? Kila mtu achore. Si mnaelewa hii maneno? Yeah. Kila mtu achore bila anaelewa. The first step is very easy. So I don't expect anybody to wait for me. Kiona nini? Unaniambia. Nice. I want to have a stand here for this. Yes, yes. That's a stand. Automatically, I'll still maintain my rod here, but there's no touching. Ukaribia na hakuna kuguza. Unakaribia na usiguze. So negatives will be here, and all the positives will be bent to the far end. Good. Kachonjo. Step 3. What do we do in this process of induction? What do we do? Step 3 tunafanyanga nini for induction? Tunaona watu wako black out huku. Sean. Ian, tell us what you're supposed to do.
We ask the ball, and then electrons will flow. We'll ask.
We do what?
We ask the ball. And then since electrons flow from a place of low.
Very good. That was the key. We do what? We add the ball. That is very good. Hata ukisimamia hapo umefika mwisho. That is the best answer you can give. You add the ball. So the next step is adding. That is very good. Kumbe watu wanasoma. Adding. Let's add our ball. Tuifanyie nini? Tuifanyie nini? To add. Let's add. We put another wire. Hata unafaa kuwa ukiadd, you're supposed to be adding your ball. Everybody to add. Tunaweka nini? Wewe ni nini Moses? Unacheka hapo. Are you not adding? Moses? Are you adding? So we are putting another wire. Kila mtu, everybody to put another wire. Yangu ndio hiyo. So lazima ikuwe na stand kwanza. Then the body, you put the earth when the body is still closed. You don't remove the rod. You add when it is still closed. So when you add, remember the negatives are here. Then you add. Add the wire. What will happen when you put another wire here? Initially, we had questions here. What will happen when you put another wire? Here.
The electrons move from a place of low potential to a place of high potential. So the negative electrons will move from the earth and neutralize the positive charges.
Good. That's very good. So what happens? I want to use simpler words, so that everyone can understand. One thing you're supposed to understand: anytime you add, there's no way positives can move to the ground, because adding simply means we are connecting the body to the ground. Remember, this was an insulator here. This was not this was an insulator here. But in this case, when you add, you're connecting a body to another wire. There is no given time when positives will move to the ground. You either negatives move to the ground and come and neutralize. So this is how negatives will come and neutralize the body. Okay? So negatives will come from the ground and neutralize the positives. Remember, negatives cannot be interfered with because they are already induced, they are engaged, if I use simpler terms. They are already engaged. So what is not engaged needs positives because they are already at ease. They are pushed to a far corner. So if something happens, they get sorted out by being neutralized, the better. So when you put another wire, the electrons will come from the ground and come and neutralize the positives, right? So the body will be like this. I'll draw a small one here. Let me do this. If I draw a good circle. So this is what will happen. So the body is still here, sorry. So I still have my body here closed. Then negatives, as long as the body is around or is closed, the negatives will. So the other wire will now neutralize that side. So what do you do? After that, you start by, you remove the body and the other wire. But which should start? Should you start by removing the rod or removing the other wire? David, do you start by removing the rod or the other wire?
Other wire first. You
Why
remove
not the rod first?
You remove the other wire, then the rod.
Why not the rod first?
When you remove the rod, you will interfere with the engagement that is there between the negative charges which are attracted to the.
That's very good. So you must start by removing the other wire first. Otherwise, if you start by removing the rod is the one that is engaging the electrons. So there will be no more engagement if you start by removing the what. So the negatives might be forced, the positives will come and neutralize. No. If you start by removing the rod, then the negatives will move to the ground and the body will be left neutral. But if you start by removing the other wire, still engaging the negatives, the final step will be now removing the other wire. So you start by removing the other wire first, then from there you remove the rod. So this is what will be left. Nataka niwachoree sasa ya mwisho kabisa. This is what will be left. So this is what will be left. The negatives are going to redistribute. Sorry, not the positives, but the negatives. The negatives will redistribute across the whole. So I want you to use, that is the end. This is the body now. The body will be left negatively charged. So I want somebody, or no, okay, everyone, to use it at this point. At this point, I want everyone to use here. Here, you're going to use a negatively charged rod. You tell me what will happen. Kila mtu afanye hivyo. I will give you 1 minute to do that. Somebody is raising the hand. Somebody has a question? Clinton, inua mkono tena nikuone. Clinton?
Oh, wanted to answer.
Oh, okay.
When you use a negative rod, the positive. When you use a negative.
Pause kidogo before you continue. Everyone should listen carefully because kila mtu lazima afanye hivi vile tunaelezea. So
Yes.
the step one, Clinton is explaining step one, the way the process will take place. The process is the way the process is supposed to take place. So everyone should listen carefully because no, everyone is supposed to draw that.
Yes.
Whatever I've drawn, this must be applied, but in a different way, using a negative. Now instead of using a positively charged rod, you are using a negatively charged rod.
The negative, when you use a negative rod, because the negative charges will be repelled to the far end, and the positive will be attracted by the negative rod. Then the next step, you use an earth wire so that you can add because the negative charges were repelled to the far end. When you use an earth wire, the negative charges will flow to the earth.
Yeah, they will move to the ground because we know that negatives can move. Positives are the ones that do not move to the ground, but negatives are the ones that are flexible, are the ones that normally move.
Yes. Then, because you have said we first remove because the negative charges have already flowed to the earth, you remove the earth wire first. Then
you remove the earth wire first. That is very important.
Then you remove the rod, the negative charged rod, and the final step, the positive charges will redistribute all over the sphere.
Very good. Very, very good. So I want to give you 1 minute, everybody, to do that. You follow my steps. Step one, unaona vile nimepanga, ufuata hivyo. Kila mtu afuata hivyo. After 1 minute, I'm going to select somebody at random to show us. I will select one person at random to show us the diagrams that we have drawn. So I'm giving you 1 minute only, dakika moja peke yake. I'll select somebody at random to show us the diagrams. Nikafute yule mwenye naona. And you know, at the end, you are supposed to achieve something. You're supposed to get a positively charged body. That's the final solution. Leon Gashaja, I can see you. Boniface. Adam, Gitai. Timothy. Ian. So clear that diagram very fast. I want whose diagram? Nataka diagram ya nani hapa? Nataka diagram ya Dion. Kuna Dion. Victor amekuwa sawa. Mulumba nataka utuonyeshe diagram. Ukipatikana upatikane. Unmute kwanza. Hebu nione. Unmute alafu tuone diagram yako. Lakini watu wako sawa. Unaona Mulumba vile yako? Let's see. Chini mwisho final. Pandisha kidogo tuone final. Very good. So I'm assuming that everybody else is okay like him, like Mulumba. That's very good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Let's go to Rene. Charging by contact. The last one now. Charging by contact. Hizi ukielewa hawezi sahau. Ama kuna mtu atasahau hii? Kuna mtu anapanga kusahau hii? No one should forget this. Yeah, no one should forget. So let's go to the method charging by contact. Separation, sorry. That one should be charging by separation. You cannot separate what is not into contact. So number 3, we write number 3. 3 charging by separation. Charging by separation. Charging by separation. So this one is the simplest. So charging by separation, the first thing is to have two bodies that are into contact. Two bodies that are into contact. Two bodies that are into contact. And do this. They are neutral. These bodies are neutral. You must have an insulator down here. Ngoja kidogo nitengeneze kitu hapa. Good. Kwa sawa sasa. So nataka nitengenezee ka insulator hapa chini. And another insulator there. Those two bodies are, if they are not charged, it means they have both positives, negatives, positives, like that, and there is no effect. Like that. So as usual, this time I will start by bringing a negatively charged body here close. So Roger, I want to undo this. The bodies are still here. So I want to bring a negatively charged body close to the two bodies. Negatively charged body to close to the two bodies. Here they are. So Okay, sorry for that hitch of the network. Network ilikuwa imesumbua kidogo, but it's back now. We were explaining something before that hitch. We were talking about charging by, well, explaining that process of charging by contact separation, charging by separation. Charging by separation. Charging by separation. There's somebody who has started drawing my screen. There's no time, so let's not. So it's charging by separation. So I'll start by having my two bodies here. I was having these two bodies. Which are into contact. So we have positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Then you have negative, positive. So then we bring two bodies here, which are into contact.